is trying to bum rush my life. Abnormal, dysfunctional, psychopathic wildebeests, these abnormal, dysfunctional, genetically recessive, melanin deficient wildebeests think they have a right to infiltrate the lives of African people whose opinions they don't agree with. And I'm not even talking politics. I'm trying to educate my community about suicide. I'm trying to educate my community about suicide, and I got the whole rainbow mayonnaise militia infiltrating my damn chat. But let me get back. Let me get back on topic. Thank God I am an African. I have nothing against nobody, but thank God I am an African. I thank God for my nappy hair. I thank God for my black nose, my black lips, my black skin. I thank God for my ancestors. I thank God that I am a descendant of Africa. I thank God that I never had to enslave another people in order to get a jump start on my own civilization. I thank God that I never had to eat the flesh of another human being in order to survive. I thank God that I can go out into the sunlight and not have to worry about catching skin cancer. I thank God for being an original human. Now, getting back to the suicidality in our children. Getting back to the suicidality in our children. Getting back to the suicidality in our children. Parents, please be mindful of suicide pacts that children make with their friends. Please be mindful of suicide pacts that children make with their friends. There is a such thing in child psychology known as a suicide pact. If your daughter's best friend, God forbid, take her own life. If your daughter's best friend, God forbid, takes her own life, your daughter might feel obligated to do the same thing. If your son's best friend takes his own life, your son might be obligated to do the same thing. And sometimes they coordinate the suicides where they say, we're going to kill ourselves at 8 o'clock on Friday or 2 o'clock on Sunday. If you are the parent of a child who had a friend or cousin who they were close with who took their life, you must remain vigilant in supervising that child. You must remain vigilant in supervising that child. Also, what do we know? Boys and men attempt suicide by way of more violent means. Women attempt suicide through more passive means. Boys attempt suicide through more violent means. Girls attempt suicide through more passive means. Girls like to overdose on pills and slit their wrists. Girls like to overdose on pills and slit their wrists. Check the medicine cabinet, check your daughter's wrists. Check the medicine cabinet, check your daughter's wrists. Check the medicine cabinet, check your daughter's wrists. Boys and men use guns and ropes. They tend to shoot and they tend to hang. If you got a son who's suicidal, no ropes, no guns in the house. No ropes, no guns unless they locked up with the lock on the gun and a lock on the safe. Okay? Okay? Very, very important. And there's nothing worse than suicide and alcohol. There's nothing worse than suicide and Percocets. There's nothing worse than suicide and Xannies. There's nothing worse than suicide and marijuana. Be careful. If your child is a substance user or a drinker, if your child is a substance user or a drinker, you need to be careful, because under the influence of alcohol or narcotic, especially if you have a child who loves taking risks, those children will take their own life because they didn't think about it. Impulsive children. The worst thing you can have is an impulsive kid with suicidal thoughts. The worst thing you can have is an impulsive kid with suicidal thoughts. Marijuana is a problem with suicidal children too. Why is marijuana a problem? Because marijuana is a downer. It calms you down. And in calming you down, it can lead to you thinking more deeply about your problems. So even though you smoke weed to calm down, if you're suicidal, that weed can calm you down so low that now you're thinking even more deeply about taking your own life. No drugs are good when you're dealing with suicidality. The Rainbow Mayonnaise Militia is back. The Rainbow Mayonnaise Militia is back. See, I should be able to make a complaint with Instagram because I'm being sexually harassed. I am being sexually harassed by members of the Rainbow Mayonnaise Militia. I am being sexually harassed by members of the Rainbow Mayonnaise Militia. And I should be able to make a complaint. But because black men don't have no protections, because they have all been stolen by the white racist mayonnaise militia, there's nothing I can do about the fact I am being sexually harassed by sexually confused wildebeests. I am being sexually harassed by sexually confused wildebeests, and there's nothing I can do about it. We have to do something about the mayonnaise militia. We have to do something about the mayonnaise militia. Why do y'all even know who I am? How do y'all even know where I am? But let me get back on topic. If I had a suicidal child, they are staying in the mental hospital that night. If my child was suicidal, they are not coming home that night. Because God forbid I fall asleep or I'm going to have to take a whole bunch of no-dos. There's no way I'm going to sleep in a house with a suicidal child. And that's why we have mental health hospitals. That's why we have mental health hospitals. That's why we have I'm going to make a complaint that they are harassing my Instagram live. These damn ICE people, these wildebeests, okay? These rhesus monkey descendants, these descendants of the rhesus monkey, these white orangutans are sexually harassing me. The mayonnaise rainbow community should not be allowed to harass revolutionary Pan-African nationalists. We must put an end to this. We must put an end to this rhesus monkey revolution. This rhesus monkey revolution. Okay? This hillbilly harangue that they're having. This damn hillbilly harangue where they think they can just jump on my live feed and flood my chat with their Neanderthal ideology. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to come on here and give you some food for thought for suicide. And black children are losing people who they love. If your child loses someone who they love, please get them some grief counseling. If your child loses someone they love, please get them some grief counseling. Do not think it's okay for a child to have to process grandmom's death. Yes, death is normal. Death is a part of life, but death is traumatizing for all of us. Get your daughter some grief counseling. Get your son some grief counseling. I don't care if they 3, 13, or 30. I don't care if they 3 years old, 13 years old, or 30. When people die that we care about, we need to process it. Make sure you get that child some grief therapy, because if you don't, they might start contemplating joining their ancestors. When a child loses someone they love, do not shrug it off. Do not think you could take them to Juma in Sunday prayer. Get them some professional help, psychologist, counselor, social worker, to work with that child. They might only need 5 or 6 sessions. They might only need 5 or 6 sessions. They might only need 5 or 6 sessions, brothers and sisters. But get them some grief counseling before they decide to join the ancestors. Okay? Now, what are the stages of grief? First, there's shock, denial, bargaining, acceptance, resolution. What are the 5 stages of shock of grief? Shock, denial, bargaining, acceptance, resolution. This can make people hate gay and white people. How is that? Oh, you mean by their behavior, not by my comments. Okay. Listen, if a whole bunch of white gorillas jump on my damn live, what do you want me to do? If a whole bunch of genetically deficient, melanin rejected white gorillas jump on my live, what do you want me to do? But anyway, brothers and sisters. Anyway, brothers and sisters. Anyway, brothers and sisters. We have to make sure we get counseling for our children. We have to get counseling for the children. Okay? 5 or 6 sessions, check in. If the counselor, psychologist, or social worker, therapist decide that the child needs more, you get more. 4 or 5 sessions to start, but you might need more. Too many black children are dealing with the loss of their loved ones. Let's wrap our arms around our babies. Let's wrap our gay intel pro. Yep. Homo intel pro. Let's wrap our arms around our children, wrap our arms around our babies, and let's support them through their loss. Okay. I've never had that many wildebeests. I've never seen that many members of the mayonnaise community infiltrate my live at the same time. So clearly there's a concerted effort. And it's a shame that the Rainbow Gang can harass people. But if you say anything about them, your whole life gets thrown in the trash. They can harass people. They can disrespect people. But if you say one thing about the Rainbow Gangers, they shut your whole life down. That's why I'm going to say, shout out to Dave Chappelle. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Shout out to Dave Chappelle for keeping it real. Brothers and sisters, more mayonnaise in the chat, more rainbow mayonnaise, more rainbow mayonnaise, more rainbow mayonnaise. But I'm going to conclude on this. We need to spend more time with our children. This is why we are renovating the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. This is why we are renovating the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, so African children have a safe space and a safe place to come. If they need to talk to somebody, we will be there. They need a break from their parents, we will be there. They need to get away for a while, we will be there. We will be a full-service African youth institution, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Please hit the Cash App. $FDMG School. Please hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Please hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Please hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Good Garvey Day. Peace and Pan-Africanism.